excited to try this brandy because I hear it's from New Zealand, of all places. Edward, can I ask you, have you ever had brandy from New Zealand?
I haven't actually, but I'm very excited about tasting this one because it has a very special place in the history of actually New Zealand wine and the whole connection between wine and distillation and brandy.
Oh, how cool, how cool, how cool.
So
Can
we
I pour
try
you
it?
some?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Let's
wonderful.
have a look at this.
Oh, look at the bottle's really cool. I kind of like it. It's got this sort of, easy thing for your thumb in it.
Yes, it's like an old wine bottle. If you think of the old wine bottles that were in Europe
Cool.
in the 17th century, it's that kind of look and a beautiful colour.
Okay,
So-
well, let's have a look at this. Wow, it's got such a gorgeous amber color. Very rich, very wonderful. Almost the color of what I would think of old gold or old copper.
It's like bronze or copper. And I mean, this has been aged for over 40 years.
Wow.
Just over 40 years.
Goodness me.
Produced
such a long
in
time.
1962. So let's have a smell and a taste.
Wow, what you get on this is so much of that oak aging vanilla, but you also get that original sort of grapey smell, don't you? It's sort of reminding me of a fine cognac,
Absolutely.
No, not that I get to taste very posh cognacs very often,
And you
but...
certainly don't get to taste rare New Zealand brandy. So
Wow.
this is a unique chance.
So what you've got here is loads of hazelnuts. I get this beautiful nutty aroma. I get sweet aromas of sort of that caramel, that vanilla. It's like a layers and layers and layers, and you always get that essence of the grape coming through right at the bottom.
Yeah,
Gosh, I could smell this all day.
it's almost like perfume, isn't it? It's like Venice perfume that you could put on your
Yes, I feel like I
Yeah.
should dab a little bit
on
behind my
either
ears.
side. Well, let's have a taste.
Man, that is super smooth. Oh my goodness. What I really appreciate about this, brandy is that it's just got this beautiful entry into mouth, and you know that it's high in alcohol, but it's so smooth and elegant. And then when you finish with it, you get this roundness, this sweetness, this layered complexity. Wow.
Yeah, so it's had around just over 40 years to mature and soften in cask. So it's become this incredibly smooth. I mean, it's 46% alcohol, but you wouldn't know because it's got this very kind of creamy, soft, rounded texture.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, I almost feel like launching into Chinese there. 我真的以为这款酒是了不起的，它的余味那么复杂，真的有层次感，圆润的口感，而且它的酒精特别结合的，哇哦！
对，这个烈酒它的回味真的很强，它在口里是非常柔和的。It's really super smooth and soft and delicate.
I think what makes this kind of brandy special is that when you drink it, you really get the history of the whole aging, the distillation. You are drinking grapes that are picked by people in 1962. 61, I'm not very good at mathematics, but what you're doing is you are actually tasting the labor of that people from that year. It is an incredible opportunity to just taste history, isn't it?
And it's a piece of history in two ways. It's gone through that period of maturation, but this brandy was actually put together by some of the pioneering wine families in New Zealand.
Wow.
If you think of the Nobelos and Delegats and
Yeah.
Babbage, these were the families that were involved, these 7 families in this project, the 7-Cellars. So they are a part of New Zealand wine history that created something that really would have disappeared, because when this brandy was first made, what they discovered, they made a beautiful product, but they weren't able to make it commercially viable. It was just too early for the industry. They were making fortified wine. Then, as we know, New Zealand went on to produce wonderful Sauvignon Blanc and many kind of modern wines. And this was sort of forgotten. So it's a piece of history that's also been rediscovered, that's being kind of preserved effectively through the work of Nick Nobile and these original families.
No, what a lovely opportunity to try this wine. And I mean, gosh.
You can quite easily keep on drinking this, can't you? Has it
it
convinced
was,
you?
I have to say, it was so smooth that I actually called it wine and not brandy. That tells you how smooth it is on the palate, doesn't it? That you can say that about it.
And I think the other thing to bear in mind when we think about sort of aging of high quality spirits like this. New Zealand actually has a wonderful environment for that because of the humidity. It can age quite gently, quite slowly, almost like being in Scotland maybe. And Nick Nobler's compared this a bit with cognac. I can see why.
Oh, definitely.
But what I love about it is it's even more vinous than cognac in a sense.
Yeah.
It's got, even something this old still has a quite dried fruit quality that you get maybe less on cognac and more with Armagnac maybe.
I can just keep on smelling this all day. And what's the danger is I think I can drink it all day, but what a fantastic opportunity to taste this kind of brandy.
And this, of course, was tiny production. So there's only 1,000 bottles, just a bit less than 1,000. They were planning to bottle 1,000, but of course, with aging over that time, there was a bit of evaporation. So the Angel's Share took a little bit of this special brandy away from us. But anyone who gets the chance to taste this will, I think, be incredibly impressed by the complex nature of this brandy.
I think we need to raise a glass and salute the New Zealand wine industry and those families working together to create such a historical brandy.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
An incredible story.
Cheers.
看它的外观，这个烈酒是非常非常漂亮的，你可以看到它的熟化时间肯定是比较长，闻起来真的很复杂，有很多的不同的非常有意思的气味味道。在口里呢，这个烈酒非常非常复杂，它的回味真的很强，它的酒精非常柔和的。我认为这个烈酒是真的很复杂，它的质量真的很高。
我们很少有机会品到这样的真的有历史感的美酒。这款酒来自新西兰，你就想起来新西兰的气候怎么样？一点都不热，很潮湿的，因此这款酒能经过很长期的40多年的熟化，然后变成这样的很漂亮的那个琥珀色，然后你闻起香，这款酒充满了层次感，你可以闻起来来自它的原料的那些水果味儿，但是除了这个以外，你也有好多的来自那个橡木桶培养的香草、丁香，一点甜甜的那个焦糖，一些坚果的味道，各种各样的坚果，从那个榛子到那个核桃的，到我个人最喜欢的山核桃，我必须得尝一口。哇塞，你就想到这款酒虽然它的酒精度特别高，入口它的舒服感有点像高端的葡萄酒。我非常非常高兴能有机会品到这些酒，因为在你的口腔里你可以看到60年代的人的采摘的辛苦，你就想起来这个是62年蒸馏的，所以他们用的是60年代。但是除了这个以外，这款酒入口真的好舒服，有点像我品到的非常高端的干邑的那个感觉，但是是奇怪的，它有那个干邑的舒服感，但是同时它也有新西兰的纯净度。你可以品到这样的酒，它没受到一丝丝的污染的影响，入口你真的有这个纯净的，它非常好表达它的气候、它的土壤、它的栽培的环境，而且它的缓慢的熟化。这款酒它的余味很柔和。哇塞，到现在我还能品到它的甜美的味道，包括那刚刚说的那些坚果，那些咖啡糖，一点牛轧糖，一点那个香草的味道，然后你还能最后一口品到它的原味儿，它的水果味儿。所以我非常高兴有这个机会品到这个充满了历史感的葡萄酒。不是葡萄酒，我非常高兴有机会品到这款美丽的烈酒。我很少品到那么好喝的白兰地，我希望你们都有机会尝一口这样的有新西兰的栽培历史的美酒。 say, I think we have to raise a glass to Nick Nobilo and the entire New Zealand wine industry for having the foresight and the wonderful planning to give us a chance to taste this brandy, this part of history. So,
Absolutely. Happily drink to that.
cheers.
Yes.